Hey, this is Dave from CheapWineFinder.com. Coming at you again in lockdown. As usual, they didn't take away our booze, so we have wine today. And we have another wine we put on CheapWineFinder.com. This one is a $6.99 wine from Trader Joe's. It's produced for them by the Central Coast Wine Warehouse, which has been making wine for Trader Joe's just about as long as Bronco Wines, who make $2 Chuck, have. And this one is a very pretty labeled. It's got Monique Cellars, Sauvignon Blanc, Monique to la bibliothèque on her bicycle. I think that's my French in high school. Actually, I didn't take French in high school. But it's got an M that's beautifully covered with flowers. It's a beautiful label. It's Sauvignon Blanc. It's from the Central Coast AVA of California. And, it's $6.99. What more do you ask for? This is a Netflix special. You're sitting around, nothing to do, $6.99? Well, you can buy a couple bottles of this, and you can go to Trader Joe's when you're picking up other items and it's there. The wine's in the store worth buying. Actually, grocery stores have great wine nowadays, but Trader Joe's, you have $6.99 wines. You're picking up other items, and you can get this. They'll still go to your wine shops. They need you in this mess as much as anybody else does, so buy wine from wine shops. But you can make a quick run and hit one store and get your food and your wine. I think I bought with this... I got that. Yeah, I got the orange chicken. I love the orange chicken and a few other things. But this is a nice little Sauvignon Blanc, which I'm going to talk about. And there's a few things about this I want to say. Because normally, what do you say about a $7 or $6.99 Sauvignon Blanc? You kind of know what you're going to get nowadays. It's kind of know what to expect. And that's fine. But I'm going to take a sip because it's good. And I've been drinking for the last, a few years, like most people, New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc all the time. My actual favorite is Loire Valley Sauvignon Blanc. Not Sancerre. I mean, that's good, but I just like the regular Loire Valley, but you can't find it anywhere. Because in France, they don't want to be your $10 wine guy. They want to sell it to you for $25. And at $25, as much as I like Loire Valley Sauvignon Blanc, you might as well buy the Sancerre. But under normal circumstances, the $13 stuff is every bit as good as the other stuff. I mean, how do you define joy? It's a joy to drink. And the other stuff, which is more expensive, that's a joy to drink. Oh, so it's better. No, get the cheaper stuff, especially when a young, bright, fruity wine. And this one, because it wasn't like New Zealand, it's like, this is a little bit subdued. I don't know when I first started drinking it, but as I started taking a few sips, it started to hit me in its own way. Yeah, it is a little more subdued, but it still has good flavors. It has a lot of flavors. And the acidity, which I thought was, it's not quite as crisp and bright as some of them. Well, it had kind of got me smacking my lips a little bit, which makes me drink more wine. And, that's the same thing as having a bowl of pretzels and stuff at a bar. You start eating those things, and next thing you know, you're drinking more beer. Well, Sauvignon Blanc has that built in. The next thing you know, you're drinking more Sauvignon Blanc, which when it's $6.99, that's where you buy 2 bottles of this stuff. And it's really nice. And Central Coast Wine Warehouse has been making wines for Trader Joe's forever. And it sounds like kind of an industrial place, but they're actually 5th generation winemakers who have roots going back to the 1800s and making wine. And they actually own maybe a couple of the most acclaimed vineyards in the Central Coast. Not that this came from them. I don't think it shouldn't for that price, but they're legit. This is the contract wine. I mean, if you want to get in the wine business and you want someone to jumpstart it by making a wine for you that you think you can then sell to other people, they will do that for you. If you have a corporation that you want to give make wine this Christmas and put your own label on that to let people know that you're around, they'll do that for you. And if you're Trader Joe's and you want to make a wine, they'll do that for you too. I don't think it's, doing it for yourself is going to be all that cost effective, because you can go to Trader Joe's and get something for, $6.99. but it can be done, and they know what they're doing. And Central Coast wine is something pretty cool. There's one thing people used to say, where do you get the best cheap wines? And they go, oh, Chile or South Africa or something. That's like, not really. They actually can't compete with the Central Coast. I mean, if you're bringing it from any place other, from another country, you got to get an importer, and you got to get transportation, and then you got to add the distribution and all that. And there's taxes in every single way. You got to come in really, really cheap to beat the Central Coast wines. And the Central Coast wines kind of know what Americans want to drink. I mean, they're here and they know. Not that, the Chile and Argentina and South Africa and Australia don't know, because they all bring good wine, but they would much rather, since they have to ship it, sell you $20 wines or $40 wines or $60 wines. It just makes more economic sense for them. And, all these Central Coast, and even the Central Valley, where you go into Lodi, there's an awful lot of winemaker and winemaking families and vineyard families that have been in business and owned this land since the 1800s. And the ones that haven't been there since the 1960s. I mean, they've been there and bought these properties before the prices got crazy. So if you're thinking about where the best inexpensive wine in the world is, you should be looking at California and the Central Coast and maybe a little Central Valley. And even Sonoma which is North Coast, makes wines that are ridiculously priced sometimes. Napa gets pricey, but Mendocino and every place else. And, it's California knows how to make wine and knows how to make wine that Americans like to drink. So we have the Central Coast $6.99 Netflix special that is kind of fun. It's got a little bit of personality. It's a nice little drink. Yeah. I mean, what's there to like? You can spend more. And if you really love New Zealand, if you really love Loire Valley or even Bordeaux, where they make Sauvignon Blanc with a little bit of Semillon wines that you can age for 25 years, and they're some of the finest wines in the world. I don't ever get to drink those, and I get to drink the $6.99 stuff. So, I like that better. I like Ferraris too, but no one's letting me drive there. So, Honda Civics are fine with me. So there we go. And we're going to talk about a little bit about the lockdown. We're all stuck. We're in Chicago, and everybody's being good for the most part. But the one thing I've noticed, and I'm going to complain out loud, is that people who walk their dogs clean up after them before the lockdown because other people are walking by and staring at them. There's dog crap everywhere nowadays because there's no one behind them. Dog, keep on going. No one knows. People, this is an emergency. Don't be jerks. That's another thing I was thinking about. Since everybody, since you watch Walking Dead and, all these zombie movies, you know how to act in a crisis. You don't do anything stupid. If you do something selfish and stupid, you're going to get bitten. That happens in every show. You go with the crowd. You don't stand out. You do what's expected of you, and you're fine. We learned that from watching Walking Dead. Be helpful. Don't be a jerk, and, don't go walking out alone without a weapon and stuff. People, on that show did it all the time for no good reason. So we're learning how to cope with crazy things because we've been watching those shows forever, and it's kind of second nature. We know what to do. So that's pretty good. I think, we're all, so far so good. No one's gone too stir crazy. And maybe because we have wine, there's no reason to go stir crazy. And I'm going to try to do this every other day to keep this going and make it wines that you can find so you're not searching all over, because there is no searching all over right now. So keep it cheap. Adios. Clean up after your dogs and watch. I quit watching Walking Dead a while back, but that's beside the point. And adios. Bye-bye. Keep it cheap, and I forgot what I was going to say there, but keep it cheap and keep safe, and I'll talk to you in a little bit. Bye-bye.